morning and welcome back to CityLine. I'm having a great time with these guests of ours. With me, I have two gentlemen who are here to talk about Tacoma Street Initiative. So please join me in welcoming Erik Sloan. We were just talking, your title is Pavement Manager for the City of Tacoma. You are invited to my next dinner party. And I cannot wait for people to go, and you do what? You manage the pavements?
Yes.
Welcome. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for having us.
You brought a friend of yours here, Mr. Reid Bennion. You are a management analyst too. Very official.
Thank you.
You're welcome for City of Tacoma. And like I said, you're lucky because you look like Tobey Maguire, so you can get away with it.
Sure.
Sure, you'll take that. So speaking about that, Mr. Reid, can you tell us a little bit about the Street Initiative? What is it?
Yeah, so the Streets Initiative was passed by voters in 2015. It was a combination of two propositions. It was Proposition A and Proposition 3. All the revenues that we get from that are dedicated for street maintenance and transportation improvements, and it's set to go until 2026.
Oh, nice funding.
Yeah, it's about $205 million in revenue we hope to bring in. And then we're going to be using that money to go after grants and partner with utilities. So in total, we expect the initiative will invest about $325 million in Tacoma streets.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Boy, we like that. So when we talk about that $325 million eventually, what type of work is associated with that initiative?
Again, it's all things streets. We have a particular focus on street maintenance because it's really important and it saves us in the long run. But again, a focus on residential street maintenance, so things like paving streets that are in really bad condition, but also doing things to help streets stay in good condition for a longer period of time. So we do things like surface treatments, and we go fill cracks when they're needed, kind of light maintenance. And then we also use that money to go after capital grants, so grants that the state offers or the federal government offers. We use that money to go after grants for major capital improvements.
In terms of like matching grants and
things
exactly. Like that, where it's like, we have this much, if you give us this much, we'll have this much.
Yeah.
So when we talk about how much revenue is generated every year through the life of the initiative, Reid, does that change according to conditions and weather on the road?
How much revenue we bring in?
Yeah.
The revenue is it's more a function of the economy.
Right. But in terms of spending it, would it?
Well, yeah, it does a little bit. Some of the major projects we do take time to plan and get out to contract, so it does vary. The first 2 years of the initiative, we spent probably more time planning some of our major projects, but this year we're actually doing a whole lot of work.
Excellent. That's good to hear. So speaking of that, Erik, how much work is typically accomplished in any given year?
Like Reid said, it varies depending on circumstances and planning and everything, but we plan on about 500 blocks each year for residential maintenance.
500 blocks?
Yes, and this year it's kind of a catch-up year, and we should come close to about 800 blocks this year.
And what conditions exist in order for it to be a catch-up year?
Just like Reid was saying, so when we started the initiative in 2016, funding didn't roll in, January 1st. So we started planning some projects, and some of those, it takes a little bit to design things and get everything out there to bid and things like that. So we kind of have a good pipeline of projects going now. So it's able to, with the way that the things came together this year, we're catching up.
It's just a little bit of momentum, isn't it?
Yes.
Because this is all, even though it's a mix and fill in the cracks if we wanted to be very, very, very elementary about this, but it's not. It is bigger when it comes to federal funding, state funding, so all of that has to funnel down in order for us to feel it beneath our feet. And that takes a while for that machine to start. So we have a video here, and let's talk about how much work has been completed to date, and then how much will be during the life of the initiative. Here we go.
To date, we've completed about 1,000 blocks.
Okay.
And over the life of the initiative, we plan on maintaining 70% of our residential street network, which equates to about 5,600 blocks over the 10 years.
Wow, 5,600 blocks. That is incredible. So how do you select the streets that are going to be worked on? I'm fascinated by this. I'm sorry. I love construction.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that wants to stop and just watch and then ask if I can get in and drive something. Our producer Fred's always threatening to put me like in some kind of bucket and put me up in the air or something. And then I also have such respect for these people who are doing this because number one, they're someone's sons and daughters. And number two, they have such a mathematical, architectural mind, and they're also battling the elements out there that it's like, people, show these people some respect for what they're doing for us. So anyway, how do you select those streets? Is it a matter of who complains the most, who puts the pig in the pothole?
No.
Or what is it?
Basically what we do is we go out and we gather all kinds of information about our streets, and it just basically tells us what's going on with that street, what kind of if there's a lot of potholes or something like that, or a lot of subgrade failure, things like that. And it comes together and we put it into a score 0 out of 100. And that helps us determine what maintenance application is the right maintenance application and also the right time to do it. So that then we take it and kind of put it on a map, and we look at the neighborhoods and try and get as many like condition streets that need that kind of maintenance together into a maintenance package. Kind of helps with good pricing and things like that. Helps us be a little bit more effective, and it helps us make a positive impact in a neighborhood too.
Absolutely. So this is the what if question. So let's say that you're looking at those 500 blocks, and some blocks over here suddenly start to really fall apart. Are you able to grandfather other ones in that maybe, someone dropped a refrigerator at an intersection on or something?
Yes, yeah, we do. We have different ways of doing things, and we can switch things around. And as a matter of fact, we update that information regularly. So that we can have accurate information, and we kind of change on the fly. What was true in 2015 is obviously not going to be true in 2020.
Absolutely, because there's so much. I mean, even I was thinking about real estate prices and people moving here and using the roads more, and all of that affects the structure and also the viability of the pavement. So, Erik, are you coordinating the projects with private and public utilities to ensure that things are upgraded all at the same time?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the big things that we do is work with both private and public utilities, along with Tacoma Public Schools for where they're working. Private development, things like that. We want to make sure that the utilities are in good condition so that we lower our risk of anyone having to cut into a newly paved street.
Exactly.
For one, and that kind of puts everything on the same maintenance schedule, so everything's lined up. And it also leads to cost effectiveness. We like to take advantage of those partnerships opportunities because it makes us, both the utilities and our crews, more effective.
I mean, working smart, not hard.
Yeah.
So Reid, let's talk about progress reports to the City Council. So if so, when?
We do a progress report to the City Council at the start of every year. We cover what we accomplished in the previous year and what to expect in the upcoming year. We also talk to the Transportation Commission about that progress report, and we make it available to the public on our website. Every start of every year we have a study session with the council to talk to them about what we've done and what to expect coming up.
Nice. Yeah. So is how can citizens find out, first off, more about the initiative? Because I know that would be me. I'd be in there going, okay, which streets are going to happen? And then, of course, whether or not their street, which this could be dicey, is going to be on the initiative.
Yeah. So we put together a dashboard. It's at TacomaStreetsInitiative.org. And there we have a lot of information about, the revenues we've raised, the grants we've secured, the streets that we've maintained, and then also we have a map of projects that are completed, projects that are upcoming, and projects that are in progress. We don't have a projection for the whole life of the initiative, but we do try to get out about a year in advance on where we're going to be on the heavier maintenance things. But like Erik said, there's a lot of coordination that goes on with the utilities. We want to make sure that the streets that we're paving, that their utilities are in good shape, and that if they're not, that they have the available resources to upgrade those utilities. So we don't have, if you go to the website and you look at the map and you don't see your house, the street in front of your house there right now, it doesn't mean that we're not going to be touching it. It just might be in a couple of years. So
it might take a while.
Yeah.
I can think about the home that I owned in the North End. Had a roundabout, and it had a lot of potholes in front of, and as much as we wanted to get it repaired, what happened first was they repaired the street lights. And we put those brand new street lights in that have better bulbs inside, but still have the old-fashioned globe. And it was then that, pardon the pun, the light bulb went on. I realized, oh, that has to get done first before you can tear up the street, because that's cart before the horse the other way. So it was a real eye-opener for us of why are our streets not being done? Well, because you can't just look at the street. You've got to look at the whole project, don't you? Yeah. Thank you, both of you, for being here today and for making this really easy to understand, because it's really easy to judge as you're driving down the road and going, why is this not being fixed? Without really pulling back and seeing the big picture of from funding down to planning, down to utilities, down to a construction crew, add weather into that and mix and stir. So thank you so much for being here. And I want to invite you back in 6 months, and I'd like a progress report, okay?
Okay.
All right, it's a deal.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
After these quick messages, we'll be back with Paint Tacoma Beautiful. Speaking of pavements, you don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.